you start smoking cigarettes, you do it only because you're cool. 60 packs a day and I've never felt better.
Clint Eastwood?
He doesn't sound rugged. Like, you can't imagine Clint Eastwood being like, "Hey, I'm Clint Eastwood."
Get off my lawn. Welcome everyone to the
That took long.
Somebody get an inhaler.
Welcome everyone to the Mochi podcast. This week, I have lost my voice.
Just about.
I am your host Tim. Next to me is my host Zach, and next to me is my host Hayden.
What's up?
And yeah, this is what I'm going to sound like all week.
It's crazy.
All day.
I tapped out last week because I felt bad. But now I feel even worse because you're still on, even though you feel sick.
I don't feel sick. I just sound like this.
He just lost his voice somehow. Like,
Yeah.
People have been getting, like, there's been, like, a stomach bug going around, but
Yes.
not anything that would affect your voice. Like, I haven't heard anybody, like, I work with or I know who's had, like, problems with their voice. But Tim was just, like, acting totally fine, but
Yeah, sounds like this. He sounds like a ghoul from Fallout.
So you don't think you caught anything?
No.
You don't just lose your voice.
Well, it started since Tuesday. So Tuesday, like I slowly felt like my throat. I slowly felt in my throat and like swollen up a little bit. And then Wednesday I worked, and when I go to work, all I do is talk.
Mm-hmm.
So it got worse and worse. So that, and then Thursday it got worse, and then especially when we went to like IKEA and to the aquarium. Because you would think I would have probably got it from an aquarium because there's a bunch
all the
of
kids.
yeah. Kids suck. So, and then Friday, that's just like going to work, sound like this. But it worked out because we had a meeting on Saturday and I didn't have to say anything because they're like, well, Tim sounds like he's been smoking cigarettes his whole life. And
It really does, man.
and then it was actually really funny because at work I said, hey, I just got like 2 branded payments, like credit cards, and then they're like, good job, Elliot. And I'm like, and Elliot is a guy that works with us, and he's from New Orleans, so he has kind of more of a raspier voice with a little twang to it. And I'm like, I told him, I was like, bro, they think I'm you. And I was like, I don't know, I think that's an insult because they just, I mean, it just sounds like they're like, oh man, you sound like you lost your voice. He's like, he goes, nah, man, you sound better now.
man, you sound sexier now. I was like, yeah, I got 2 branded.
Does that mean you're just saying, like,
baby?
you say obnoxious stuff?
Yeah.
So then people think it's him?
Hey, this
is Elliot.
Everyone knows that
I'm leaving early.
I gotta smoke.
But I'm gonna stay on the clock though. Get overtime. But yeah, I'm headed out. See you guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna clock out to smoke this cigarette. Actually, 2 cigarettes.
You just become like an entire cloud of like cigarette smoke.
Yeah, I smell like my old house. Like,
Gosh, yeah.
I still don't understand how y'all dealt with that for like so long.
Well, it never really bothered me that much.
And I smoked, so I didn't care either.
Oh yeah, well around that time also I started working at Jones and like everybody at my job smokes cigarettes. Like I think I'm one of like maybe 2 or 3 people that I hang out with at my job that just does not smoke, and even they're really against like cigarettes. So stay off drugs.
Yeah. So anyone, if you smoke cigarettes, you're gonna sound like me.
You're a loser.
So do not smoke cigarettes.
Was that cough was real, wasn't it?
Well, it was like it was real because like I was.
That cough sounded real.
Yeah.
Like you were gonna be like, "Don't smoke cigarettes." yeah.
Cigarettes and bad, okay. So
Fair warning to
Yeah.
anybody listening: if you're okay with Tim sounding like this is what you're getting.
Yeah, you're in tune for about another hour.
I sound like
of this.
I could be in your dad's motorbike gang with a voice like this.
Not by calling it a motorbike, you're immediately out.
With a voice like this, you know.
His motocross.
Hey
gang?
there, guys! Can I be in your motorbike gang?
That's like the equivalent of like Pee Wee Herman when he was like he joined that the motorcycle gang.
He rode a scooter though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or a bicycle.
He had a bicycle, but then he danced and Valentine's Day just passed, and Tim spent it with Sarah in Atlanta, going to the aquarium as well as IKEA. So how was that?
So the aquarium was really cool. The really fun part to me was like seeing Sarah, take photos of like all the take photos of all the animals.
Is this our first time doing like photography and stuff?
Yeah, it was our first time ever using my camera. I pretty much gave her a basics of like ISO, aperture, and shutter speed.
Mm-hmm.
Which, trust me, if you ever want to do photography, you literally learn those 3 things and you can do almost anything. So I gave her a little overview of all that. We went to the aquarium. She would take pictures, and it's also it's funny watching her get frustrated because she hates like crowds and people that just kind of like sit there and stare.
Meander.
Yeah. And it just watched her get more frustrated. She's like, I'm trying to take a freaking picture. Get away. Why are these kids not at school? It's Thursday.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny.
The Atlantic Aquarium, that one's like the 3-story one.
Yeah.
It's pretty big,
huge.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. We knocked it out in like 2.5, 3 hours.
Oh, nice.
But like that was really fun. I'm still surprised I didn't get more sick than when I am here. I also took my iPhone and I actually recorded a lot of videos. I haven't edited that one yet, but I've recorded like a lot. Just gonna make like a little
Yeah.
maybe minute-long video of all that stuff, put some music to it, or Under the Sea.
Mm.
That's probably
Under the sea.
Under the Sea.
It's just the Kingdom
Behind
Hearts
the
level,
glass.
like for forever. Gosh, that Kingdom Hearts level, Under the Sea, whatever. It's not a bad level. You just have to listen to that song for like 3 hours, and that's what makes it like such hell. And it's an underwater level, but whatever.
God, just imagine like that playing over and over and over. I'll play at your funeral, Hayden. I'm gonna actually bring out the bongos.
If there's anything you play at my funeral, it's going to be the Firelink Shrine theme, or it's going to be what's the song from End of Evangelion? It's like the main song. It's like it's in German, but it's like the very very end. That's the name of the song is in German. I think it's like Komm Süßer Tod or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, which is like Come Sweet Death in German, but play either of those at my funeral.
Okay, I just want to
not the under. I want to make that clear. Not the Under the Sea.
Zach, fix it in post. Make it. I want the Under the Sea.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'll come back and freaking haunt everybody and be like, "You did this." No, that's everybody says that's a scary episode of like the scariest episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. The Turn the Slab one. It's my favorite.
My scariest episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog is definitely the
what? I'm sorry. I know you're sick. I know.
The
Courage the Curdle Dog.
By the way, before I forget, my mom brought me a Valentine's Day gift. She brought me a coupon, a gift card, and it has 4 places you can go eat.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is Cracker Barrel, but she put Crackle on it.
Yes,
oh my gosh.
Way to go, Linda. Yes,
freaking.
And we can talk about that in a second too.
Got him.
About that experience. But went to IKEA after that. Actually, Sarah took some amazing photos. If you want to, you can put some of the photos. But for her first time taking photos, it was mind blowing.
They're really, really good.
Yeah, they were.
And it's like she's never done it before, so she doesn't know how to really like take in the fact of like what's good versus bad, because like there's not really a comparison to her past stuff other than like iPhone photos.
Right.
So then we went to IKEA. First time ever going to IKEA.
No way, really?
I think it was Sarah's first time.
I've been
I can't
wanting
remember.
to go so bad.
So we went to IKEA.
It's cool, huh?
And we got done at the aquarium at 3:00, and we left IKEA at 8:00.
Yeah, that's about right.
It was worth it to not wait in traffic. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we ended up buying some stuff. I bought Hayden a new glass case.
Hell yeah.
And then I spent about like
$120. A new desk and stuff or something?
Yeah, I got like a $40 glass desk to just put in my room to take over Sarah's vanity. Mm-hmm. And then also whenever like she wants me to like hang out with her or just be in the room, so like I'm not in my studio, I can literally just unplug the iMac and plop it right there and start working on stuff or homework, whatever I gotta do.
Yeah, that's perfect. Just pop in some headphones. You're good to go.
Yeah, but shouts out, man. Thanks for picking me up one of those. I've been wanting those for like a long time. And you had mentioned about us probably going back in like May or maybe sometime this summer.
Yeah, we could probably do that
we'll
just do that for your birthday.
Yeah, well,
that show I want to take you to your birthday.
And hell yeah, and like that weekend is actually MomoCon.
What is it? May 21st is?
The weekend of that week, it's as MomoCon too.
So we would go to Momo and then we would go to...
No, it would be the show we're talking about is a basement with nothing and gouge away at the Masquerade on my birthday this year in Atlanta. And that following weekend is MomoCon. So it's like Tuesday and then that weekend is MomoCon. So if you guys wanted to still go to that, we can. I mean, we talked about only going to MomoCon. If you wonder what I'm doing, I'm putting lotion on my tattoo. That's why I'm like in a weird position.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was
he's rubbing the lotion on
his
skin.
leg for like 3 minutes.
Sorry. Well, I put it on here when I first came in, but then I touched it for a second. And I was like, how is it still dry? SMH, man. But yeah.
That's a dry leg right there.
Nothing in Basement put out like a handful of records that are just like some of my favorite records of all time. And Gouge Away, I've seen them at the Firehouse. They're like a really cool like hardcore band. I haven't listened to them in a long time. I don't know if they like changed up their style or not. But I
just watched them on Audio Tree and they were really good.
Yeah, they're super good. And they're from Florida. They're dope. But yeah, if you guys wanted to still go. Just that we talked about just going that Saturday to MomoCon, which is totally worth it. And like, I just love the location of MomoCon and like the way that con is set up too. Because we went last year and that was a total blast. But
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, the whole weekend. But
I think just trips that we should do as like a group is.
I think I'm good now.
You good there?
Sorry. Yeah.
Like not even. It doesn't even have to be Momo. Just more. What's going on?
He's
just beeping it. Just like
not even like a Momo trip, but just like a trip for all of us to do.
Right.
So
totally agree.
It doesn't
with
even
that.
have to be like a convention. Let's just
totally
let's go to the beach
that.
for a week, or let's go to Chattanooga, or let's go to the aquarium.
Yeah, me and Tim have agreed. Like we think the beach. We're not beach people.
Oh yeah, that'd be rough.
You are.
Me and Lake. Me and Lake will be the beach
McCowns. The McCowns featuring like all beach people. Me and Tim. I'm a mountains guy. What area do you like?
I totally.
I'd rather do a cabin, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm a mountains kind of guy.
Yeah.
Let's pull our money together.
F the beach.
Let's get Harry and Phil and Marshall and let's get the whole group and do like a big cabin thing. That'd be so badass.
And just don't murder us.
Because
the
not the Corridor digital channel, but there's a YouTube channel called Node. They do that. Like every year they have like 12 to 26 people all go to Big Bear and they rent out this huge massive like cabin for the weekend and then they just do like all these different type games like airsoft and big board games and
that'd be really fun.
Maybe some LAN party stuff, but like just imagine like a huge cabin and then all of us
it'd be super cheap. Honestly,
if we all pulled together.
If we go back to Chattanooga because didn't half Chattanooga like burnt down from a couple of years ago?
We went, me, Jacob, and Jay went like in 2016, I want to say, and we still had a blast. I mean, there's a bunch to do up there, and it's just like it's fun. I know it may have. When would that have been? I don't remember hearing about that.
A couple of years ago. I just figured like since the big fire came through, you could probably get stuff a lot like rates a lot cheaper because there's not a lot to do there now.
Maybe, but I mean, I just like that area in particular, depending on what time of the year we go, but. Yeah, I like the mountains a lot.
Yeah, we should do a trip. Yeah, like it doesn't have to be to the mountains or to the beach, but like
just where we can go and hang out.
Gatlinburg.
Like just an excuse for us to just kind of hang out in a cool place too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because the past 2 days, like I got over all my stomach crud. I've been hanging out with you like the past 2 days, going out and doing stuff. It's like
I don't know how he's not fed up with me yet.
No, dog.
We figured out we had Skate 3 on my Xbox.
I cannot believe we've gone this long. Because the amount of times we've said, man, I wish you had Skate.
We've said it a few times.
And the amount of times that we've looked it up on the store, and it's like still like $20. We're like, it's not.
But that would have been like on my PS4, and I remember buying Skate 3 on my 360 when I was still using my 360. But like, and then we looked up like speed runs of like Skate 2 and Skate 3 last night because I was watching like lame-o nerd videos, and Zach was just like, well, you weren't feeling good, but you were still just like.
Yeah.
Play something good. And I was like, I know what Zach likes.
I just love to give you a hard time.
Skate 2 speedrun. And then today I was like, wonder how much Skate 3 is on my Xbox. And then I was like, oh, I already bought it like 8 years ago. And Zach was like,
yeah, true.
Anyways.
Damn, that sounded like a commercial right there where you did that like reverse symbol and then the You won't hear it until you listen back.
That was kind of weird. But where are we going with this? Trips? Talking about?
Why don't y'all talk about what you've been doing the last couple of days with like
your
little trip to the mall and stuff?
We did
2 or 3 trips.
We took 2 trips to the
Back and
mall,
forth
really.
to the mall.
Yeah. The way this started is that I had originally wanted to look at some shoes as well as like a couple other things at the mall, and I had originally wanted some Jordans, like these $200 Jordans that I've been wanting for like a long, long time.
The J's,
the Jordan Infrared 6s. I've been wanting those for so long, but since wanting them originally, and I still like them. Of course, my like taste in the way I dress has like evolved, has changed. So I don't really want them as much as I wanted them back then.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna also look at some. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by moving around. I also wanted some Chaco like sandals, just because I've always like kind of wanted sandals to wear.
Yeah.
Didn't go through with those, so it was like, all right, we're going to the Van store.
I want to talk about Chacos for a second because I've seen Chacos. I'm aware of Chacos. I might wear Chacos until after being in the store and physically holding a Chaco in my hand and seeing that it was what,
single Chaco.
It's like
$105 for a standard pair.
$100 for like what feels like a little piece of foam with just like fabric woven over where your toes would be, and how that is so expensive just like blows my mind.
But I just
talking about Balenciagas.
Nah, I know you're talking about those. That brand's stupid too, but it's just like because my sister had them for a long time, and I remember seeing somebody else who had them, and theirs in particular looked really, really cool. And I was just like, am I just like super white for wanting some of those or something? But I was like, I really want some for some reason because it just seems like a simple shoe to wear out, like especially during the summer and the spring.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like and I told you because you picked it up and it had like an actual like
it had like a foot in it.
Yeah.
Like a display.
To show you what it looked like with like a foot, yeah.
On feet.
Yeah.
It needs like a little rotation.
But he didn't. He picked it up with the foot, and he didn't realize. I'm sure the foot by itself doesn't weigh that much. Like the pair of Chacos that my sister has that I picked up, I wasn't expecting them to be like as heavy as they are. Some of them are kind of heavy, actually. They're really durable. So it's like the material they use for the actual like base of the sandal is like really, really good. I told you it's like essentially the North Face of like sandals. That's why they're so expensive. Yeah, okay. And like if it breaks, whatever, they can get it. You can get it fixed super easy. Yeah. So I saw those and I was like, Momo or Comic-Con's coming up as well, and I got a few other things I want to like put money into and responsibilities as well. So I was like, I'm probably gonna skip out on the Chacos because those are like half the price of the Jordans I wanted, but those are still kind of expensive.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to look at shoes, and also been talking to Zach for a long time about because Zach has been like, man, I really want to get some new Vans. Really, really want to get some new Vans.
Stupid freaking Vans.
And we had been like, dude, let's go. We've been talking about this for like 2 months, maybe 2 or 3 months about going to get new Vans. We haven't done it until like, of course, this weekend. Yesterday. And I got new Vans. They're pretty cool. I like them. The girl that sold them to us, she was pretty cute.
Did you check her on her today when you went back?
She wasn't there today.
Unfortunately, yeah. Well, shouts out her, the girl at the Van store. Yeah. So I got mine.
Vanessa.
I don't know if that's her name. We'll call her that. Anyways,
pretty good.
Yeah, we'll call her. That's a hot name.
Vanessa.
From the Van store.
The Van store. Hit my DMs, anyways. I bought mine, and I was like, man, these are some cool ones. And Zach was like sold. At the store, he was like kind of sold on some. But before we went into the Van store.
That's what got me. That's what screwed up this entire trip is because I went in for one thing and I got sidetracked. We walked into Champs because Hayden had spotted out some J's. And we're walking through and I'm not like a sneaker guy. Obviously, I wear Vans and I've never been like a huge
we like browse somewhere like, man, these are cool. These are cool.
That's where it all went downhill because as we're browsing the shelf, I see this pair of New Balance and I'm like, oh, those are cool. And then we keep walking and then I do like a double take and I walk back. I pick up the shoe.
You're like,
It's a New Balance 247s. Mm-hmm. And I pick it up and I'm holding it and I'm like, dang, these are pretty nice. And I set it back down. And then we walk out of the store and they're still on my mind.
Yeah.
We leave Champs, we go to the Van store, and it's still on my mind. and I'm looking at all the shoes on the Vans wall.
And we spend longer time in the Van store than any other store, but it was just a lot of
where they get you is they put everything on display, and it's like,
and it really came down to us deciding. Like, we wanted Vans.
Yes.
And Zach, I mean, you can go ahead and tell the story.
So they have the Vans. I mean, whatever. You want this style Vans. Okay, what color do you want? Well, you have like 50 different colors to choose from. Well, I couldn't decide between the low cut shoes or the half cabs, and Hayden ended up trying on slip-ons or something. But
I wanted some slip-ons,
size or something.
But they didn't have my size. I ended up getting some some other kind.
So I'm going back and forth. I'm like, well, slip-ons would be cool, but the original like I've got would be cool. One gripe that I don't like about Vans is they're flat-footed, which I'm flat-footed, so it's not a big deal. But over like a prolonged amount of time, like my back starts to hurt. And so I really want shoes that are going to be like
New Balance.
Like New Balance, but some of the New Balance shoes can get pretty big, like bulky, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. Like Vans are real slim and clean. And
the particular like New Balance model you looked at was like just real slick.
And I kept thinking about that and kept thinking about it.
97s are kind of like that, right? They're a little bit bigger of a shoe.
They're
more comfy.
Yeah, 97 Air Max 97s and 98s. Just Air Max in general are super comfy, but.
So we're in Vans forever, and Hayden decides on a shoe. He gets it, and I'm like, damn, those are so sick. He gets half cabs, but I've never worn half cabs. They come up my ankle a little bit higher than what I'm used to, and so I just assumed without even trying them on in the store, I'm like, I'm not gonna like those. And so I fall back on the pair that I currently have now, just in a different color. And I'm like, whatever. I put it on one foot, and I'm like, yeah, it fits. And then we check out and leave. And then we get in the car.
And I'm driving back. And I don't remember what I said.
A guy on a Harley comes hauling ass by us, and he's got on
New Balances.
No, he has on some nice Air Maxes, and I wasn't expecting like this guy on a bike to be like wearing some Air Maxes. I'm like, nice shoes, bro.
And then he looks over at me and he's like, "You thinking about those New Balance?" And I'm like, yes, like I cannot get them off my mind. He's like, you want me to turn around? And I'm like, nah, just keep going. No, because those are like $80 shoes. Vans are like $50. Like, yeah, don't worry about it. And then we get back here, and I put the shoes on, and I'm immediately just not feeling them because I keep thinking about the New Balance. Hayden puts on his shoes, and I'm like, dude, your shoes look so good. Like, they look stupid good. Let me try them on. And I try them on, and half cabs are like super comfortable, and they fit my foot super well. And I'm like, damn. Okay, well, I won't spend $80. Like, I'm like, okay, well, now I know I don't want these Vans, so maybe I want Hayden's Vans, or maybe I want these New Balance.
You've been warm for a while. You were sitting on the couch reclining like, these are nice.
Hey, do you want to trade?
Yeah, I told him that. I was like, you want to trade? And he's like, no. It was to the point where the whole time I was back here at your house, I'm wearing your shoes. And so we're sitting on the couch going back and forth, and I finally tell Hayden, I'm like, well, whatever, whether I get the New Balance or I get these half cabs, I know that I do not want the Vans that I currently have on now. I was like, so I'm going to the mall tomorrow. Do you want to go again? Hayden's like, hell yeah, dude, I'm down. So that's what we did today. We went back to the mall, and the first store we go to is Champs so that I can try on these New Balance. But they don't have them in my size.
Of course they don't.
She's like, I've got a half size smaller. That's the display model. And they're like this like bright, vibrant, like red. And not really my style, but I was able to try on the shoe just to see if it was like super comfortable. And they're like the most comfortable shoes I've ever put on in my life. Like, I love these shoes. And so I'm asking her if they have any different colorways. She's like, no, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll jump online and I'll buy them whenever we leave the mall. So we go return the Vans, and we got sidetracked in H&M. Spent a lot of money in H&M. So we do that. We return the shoes. We go out to the parking lot, and we're sitting in my van getting ready to come back here. And I pull up the New Balance website, and I find the model shoe, the 247s, and I find a colorway that I like.
They sold out.
No, they're there.
Okay. He buys them.
I buy them there in the parking lot. Boom, done.
Mhm.
One and done. We leave.
We get back here.
We get back to this freaking house.
Dude, this is like, what's up with this Zach and shoes, man? Anyways.
We sit down on the couch, and I pull my phone out so I can check the email just to see that my order had gone through. And it said it had gone through, and I'm looking at the picture of my shoe, and I was like, oh, cool. And I click on it, and it takes me to the New Balance site, and they've been marked down $10. They're $10 on sale now.
Mm-hmm.
So I overpaid $10 for these shoes. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. Like, they just processed my order. I'll just cancel it and rebuy the shoes. So I'm looking at different colorways, and every different colorway has been marked down $10, except the pair that I bought.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Like, you gotta be kidding me. And so they were more expensive buying them online, plus I had to pay for shipping. And what originated from just a $50 pair of shoes turned into $91 and change.
Yeah. But you can't go back from this, man. You've gone through too much to. These are the you've entered a commitment with these shoes now. So these are the shoes.
Yes,
these are the ones.
It was cool taking Hayden because we kind of have the same style, and so I kind of get overwhelmed in certain situations where had I gone somewhere by myself trying to try on these shoes and just looking at them from top down without getting somebody else's opinion, I probably would have skipped on the New Balance altogether,
right?
And bought a pair of half cabs. So it was really nice that you were there and like, no, like they look sick. So
we'd also wish that Lake was able to join us because like we want Lake to get some new clothes with us.
Pimp him out. So all three of us. What's it called? Makeover. Something makeover. Extreme makeover. Lake edition.
Oh,
that's what we're gonna do. Because Lake has.
Oh man, this purple shirt looks really good, guys.
Well, that's the thing. Lake has his own set style, but he purchases a lot of his clothes offline. He
off Amazon.
There's not a lot of stuff. He doesn't really go to a lot of stores. I don't blame him. The convenience, just buy stuff offline.
I mean, you buy your jeans online.
Yeah. Well, because
he paused. I don't know why you paused so long for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
After I tried on the pair in the store, and then I buy multiple pairs of the same.
Yeah. I mean, I've done that for years, and I was like, man, these jeans fit so great. I wish I had more of them. I'll just go buy 2 more pair of them.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we were joking, like, yeah, we need to take Lake on like a shopping spree. Imagine taking Lake to like H&M.
Yeah.
Boy would be balling, man.
Yeah. And like Lake, it's just like it's already the clothes that Lake already wears, but just more stylish. Not saying Lake's style isn't like bad,
no,
but
not at all.
I want Lake to be like, because he's got all that money now, or he's making better money now. He's making better money now. I want Lake to be like stunting the way he should be right now.
Yeah, and everything in H&M's so affordable, and it looks great. Like, yeah, he could get good stuff for super cheap. And we were hoping that you were going to be free today, just to hang out. I was surprised. You hear people say all the time, like, malls are dying. Nobody ever goes. Who goes to a mall anymore?
Everything's online these days.
Everybody was at the freaking mall yesterday. It was unreal how many people were at the mall yesterday.
And well, also like I guess I'm a little more used to it because Jay, Jacob, and I, and sometimes Steven and Jay and I, we would go to the mall just about like every
mall rat.
Yeah, we used to be real mall rats. Mall walkers, and like so I'm like I knew what to expect on like a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon at the mall, of course. But yeah, and like especially I told Zach whatever, it's really just a way for some people to just like stunt what they have,
Yeah.
To show off like for no reason. Like, man, I bought these like $300 Air Maxes with like the what is it they have now? It's like a
You would know, I wouldn't know.
You've seen them, and it's like they have the orange like zip tie on them. Have you seen those shoes?
Oh yeah.
And I saw a guy with like the Converse that has the writing on the side with the zip tie, and I'm like, I know those Converse are like $200, bro, but like, I was like, he's wearing them to the mall just to stunt. Like, he's not walking into any store looking at anything. He's just walking through the mall. I saw him walk by himself like through the mall, and I was like, I mean,
weird flex,
I mean, bro, drip if you got it, man. But like,
dude, all different walks of life at the mall.
I could go buy me a orange zip tie and put them on any of my shoes to ride on them, and they'd be still the same price.
Just walk in the mall with the Keyblade. You can really stun on these hoes.
Bro, I'd be pointing at everybody. Being
We
like,
walked in this store yesterday that was called Lunchbox or Box Lunch or something.
Yeah.
And we walk in this store and it's like it's all like Harry Potter and like
It's like nerd. It's like Western nerd pop culture stuff.
it's
really.
like take Hot Topic but get rid of all the goth stuff.
Yeah, or like it's
They already did that.
a
So
less edgy Hot Topic.
So we walk in and we walk in and Hayden points at this button up red and white Dumbo button up collared shirt. It's
Mhm.
red and white. It looks super clean and it's got just Dumbo all over it. Dumbo was my favorite movie as a kid.
And I lean over to Zach and I'm like, "This is gonna be like
He's like,
stupid expensive."
How much you think this is? And I was like, $15. $50 shirt.
Yeah, and I was like, because it's Disney licensed, and I was like, everything that's Disney licensed, and clearly he's never been in a Disney store.
No, this looks like a shirt you'd find in a loot box, like a monthly subscription, like or thrift
at-
store find.
yeah, thrift
Not
store.
a $50 shirt with Dumbo on it.
So shopping.
And we immediately turned around and walked out the store.
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
And I also got like super excited because I saw a certain figure at Pop Cult, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not gonna go buy it." But then I walk in and I actually see it on the counter, and I'm like, "Okay, it's not that cool," and I walk out. I was excited for 2 seconds.
It's almost depressing shopping with Hayden because everywhere that we went, we're like, we're done. We're not spending any money. We're not. We've already bought shoes. We're done. And then we walk in H&M and we buy all this crap. And I actually returned some stuff to H&M today.
It's hard not to, man.
And we walked in H&M just to return something.
and we bought
And then on the way out,
we bought other
we
stuff.
bought like 5 more things.
Yeah, I bought these shorts that I'm wearing, man. And I bought a pair of pants yesterday. It's like, damn, it's just hard not to, man, because like some of it's like so well priced, and like it's just like comfortable too, and it's just
Same thing. We went to Books A Million today because we were just there. We were already there. It's like, let's go walk around Books A Million. And
it's Books A Million's an awesome store, and I ended up buying 2 more manga, and it was just like,
we went to Home Depot twice.
We went to Home Depot twice. I didn't buy anything from Home Depot. Zach did. I went to go look at lights. That was a bust. Those lights were too expensive, but Zach bought stuff for his van. Do you want to talk to Tim about why he was wearing a bulletproof vest?
Yeah,
Well,
let's I
want to get onto this too because I saw
You
his.
tweeted a picture of you wearing. You bought a book. What the hell is happening?
Well, you can find out after our sponsor this week.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, since Hayden can't read, I'll do this one sponsor. This week's episode. This week's episode of the Mochi Podcast brought to you by
Anchor.
Anchor.fm. Timmy.boulder.
Timmy.boulder.
Timmy.boulder. Did you know that Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing?
Cigarettes.
No, podcasts, boy.
Oh, I like podcasts.
Best of all, it is 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast.
Woo.
Hey, I'm going to divert from the script because this is actually cool. Bit of news. Spotify has acquired Anchor.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Spotify now owns Anchor. So if you're looking to start a podcast, you'll for sure be on Spotify. And they've also opened it up. You'll be on Apple Podcasts and any podcasting networks across the web.
It's the way to go.
It's awesome, man. Hey, no microphone, no mixer, no problem. You can record audio straight to your mobile device. You can edit episodes straight on through the app. Just download the app. You
Super
can,
handy.
edit it, distribute it, put ads in it, and then upload it to all your friends. With Anchor, you can, I said that already. Anchor supplies you with the tools you need along with the resources to distribute your podcast on all. I said that too.
Ooh.
So if you are looking to launch a podcast,
Yes.
do it with Anchor.
Yes,
It's
do
so
it.
easy. We
do it with Anchor.
Do it. Do
It's so easy. A caveman.
do it.
It's
It's so easy. A caveman could do it.
It's so easy,
Is that
Zach
the
could
right,
do it.
It could.
right
It could.
company?
So sign up today at anchor.fm/start. That is anchor.fm/START. Thank you, Anchor, for the continued support of the Mochi Podcast.
Thank you, Anchor.
Yeah, boys. All right, talk about a cliffhanger. Bring us back around, Boulder.
Okay.
Why?
Boulder.
So let me ask you this before we
Okay.
get is the bulletproof vest is for you?
No.
Oh,
Even better. No.
So,
all right. Tell me this
I
story.
wish.
so it's not really, I guess, that interesting. I was FaceTiming with GBF King, because me and him we shot a new video, Two Faces, the other day, and we were supposed to shoot another video today,
Mhm.
but it rained. And so we shot a really like a little sadder song, really more mellow, and then we were supposed to do a hyper song this week. Now, the thing with it rained, so he couldn't get that. He was just gonna wear no shirt with just this bulletproof vest because he was like, man, he FaceTimed me. He goes, man, do you know anywhere we could get a bulletproof vest? I was like, yeah, Amazon. And he's like, what?
Mind blown.
Yeah, he's like, what? I was like, yeah, Amazon. I was like, yeah. Oh, give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one here for $40.
Nice.
I can have it by Friday. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, I can get you a bulletproof vest. Like, what do you? And I've like flipped the phone around, let show. And he goes, yeah, dude, get that one. That one's hard.
The magic of the internet, right there.
And then so I buy the vest. And he's just going to reimburse me for it.
Yeah.
I buy the vest. It comes here. It comes inside. I put it on and I FaceTime him wearing it. Mm-hmm. And then that's pretty much how it comes.
So that's the picture that I saw
sick.
then.
Yeah. I thought you might have been going to like the worst like place in the world to like shoot a video that they were like, bro, we don't want you getting hurt. Here you go, dog.
Yeah, they did.
Or something.
Absolutely.
This is my hand-me-down.
I want to do an episode where you just talk about these sketchy parts of town that you go to, but like seriously, some of the rap videos that you shoot are in like super Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you talked about in one of the episodes where one of the crews you were with, they gave you a shooter.
Yeah.
Somebody who was going to watch your back while you were out in this part of town, and if it went down, he was your guy. Yeah. And so you posted that picture with a bulletproof vest, and I'm like,
that's wild.
Why would? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, dude, because shortly before that, you had tweeted like I'm gonna die doing what I love or something, and I'm like, dude, what the hell have you signed up for?
Don't be saying that, man, please.
I mean, that's true. I mean, at the same time, if I'm gonna die, I hope I ain't gonna die at Best Buy. But
I hope you don't die at Best Buy either.
Man, that's a sad way to die. But like, I mean, if something happens like during a video shoot, I mean, it would suck in the end all. But I mean,
it'd make for a great episode.
Yeah. Okay. This is the Boulder Memorial podcast episode.
Tim got shot. Not clickbait.
Not
one like, one prayer.
Not clickbait.
Not clickbait. One like, one prayer. One share, one prayer.
One share, one prayer. Yeah, dude. That episode would blow up, man. AdSense would be great on that one.
Yeah. Still wouldn't see the money.
I'd get a Boulder tattoo.
A Timmy the Boulder tattoo.
Tim Bob the Boulder.
It's like a rock that just has my initials.
I would get an artist to draw you in Adventure Time style and get that tattooed on me.
Ooh, yeah, with black. Oh, maybe not blackout, but
get blackout as
Jake.
It's just Jake Black.
Yeah, just get blackout or like Jake, but in like blackout's fur style. Yeah, I get that.
That'd be sick. Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah, we would stand our homeboy for sure.
Okay, well, yeah. No, I thought you were like out in the.
No, I mean, I might be. I mean,
you looked hard.
Oh, yeah.
Just forewarning that a bulletproof vest does not stop bullets.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was only $40.
Yeah.
What was in it?
Nothing. It just looked like.
Oh, it didn't have the actual like.
No, it's just like Velcro.
It's not an actual bulletproof vest.
It just looks like a bulletproof, which is what I was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but man, me and King's got a lot of stuff this year.
Talking about also doing a documentary with him as well, which is gonna be awesome.
Just so I'm just gonna spill one thing about the documentary that we're gonna talk about. He was telling me at the video, he was like zooted, and he was like telling me, he goes, well, you know, I'm not in school or anything like that. And he goes, yeah, you I'm not in school anymore. I was like, yeah, you graduated. He goes, no, I dropped out. Like, I was like, dropped out. And he goes, yeah, they were gonna, after we did our video for No One Believes in Me 10 months ago, they pretty much kicked me out. They were about to kick me out because of all the guns and stuff like that in that video.
That video is a prime example of why I was freaking out.
I was like, man. And I was like, well, now I know what we're going to start the documentary on. He goes, yeah, man. He goes, it's been rough, like, for a lot of that stuff. But he goes, this music's really all I want to do. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm going to really, like, push you. Like, I'm going to push you a lot because, like, he didn't know you can get a bulletproof vest on Amazon. So, I mean,
No.
I know he has no clue how to distribute, like, put music out. I'm going to show him how to do DistroKid.
Yeah.
You can sponsor us too, DistroKid, if you want to. But DistroKid, I'll help him put all his music out on other thing as long as he, like, owns it.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, because, like, think about any big hip-hop artist. Where are you listening to? Look how many millions, billions of views Spotify artists have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, XXX had, like, 4 billion streams. And he was dead most of the streams. Like,
Yeah.
so, I mean, like, no one's listened to, like, a YouTube video is cool, and that's like a couple thousand people. But, you know, how inconvenient is it to click YouTube and then search up something?
Well, why do you
Right.
think like places like World Star is so popular? Because you just pay and then boom,
Almost
all the
blow up,
views
yeah.
roll in. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, sometimes that doesn't really contribute to people searching out. It's more like, it's like Say Cheese. Like, Say Cheese is like a huge, like, Instagram
Distributor.
Yeah, distributor of, like, videos and content and getting you out there. And then you pay for those spots, and then they take you off after a while. Like,
Mhm.
hey, is this trash or is this fire? Like,
Right.
and most of the time, like, it's just, like, really low ball videos of artists. Some really, really bad. Some of them decent. Some of them, like, really good. But, like, when you flood a channel so much,
Mm-hmm.
how can you pick out the good? Really,
Right.
like, only, like, maybe one blows out of everything.
I want to bring up this. This was brought up in the group chat a couple of weeks ago. How some artists paying for views, paying for hits on whether it be a YouTube video or an Instagram video,
Mm-hmm.
paying for likes and comments and views to make it look like this video is a lot bigger than it is.
Yeah.
But if it's all, I don't get the point in that. I don't understand. So maybe you, coming from an artist standpoint and as someone who shoots music videos, if it's all fake views and fake
Accounts, like,
obviously
yeah.
fake comments
Yes.
rolling
Oh,
in,
this
like,
is what we're getting on.
hilariously
and, yeah.
fake comments.
We kind of the way I see it too is like it's either the not the only way, but the one way you try to get the ball rolling. You know,
Yeah.
to where it'd be like, oh, this is actually kind of popping off. I'll check it out too, and then next thing you know, it just kind of snowballs. But
So there's 2 artists that I deal with.
right.
Not gonna say their names, but they 100% pay for views.
Yes, and
Or-
it's so
And
obvious.
it's super obvious. So for example, for people that, if you don't know what that means, let's double back to something you might know, like Twitter and Instagram, where, like, people have millions of followers, and then they do updates, and then they lose like 5% of that immediately because bot accounts, where people literally are making all these bot accounts, like, hey man, give me $50 and I'll give you, 50,000 followers.
Right.
It's like, there's a little bit of that in, like, in all culture, like video games. You can, like, RuneScape, you can pay someone to have a bot to give you money and gold and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, when you go into, like, music and views, in our day and age, views matter more than the actual content. And the reason that is because with views, it puts you makes you more searchable, because you have more views and you have more comments and more likes and stuff like that. People are like, oh man, they're actually doing stuff, like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, when you get like 500-600 likes and comments and stuff in a snap,
Right.
but then but at the same time, they don't, like, correspond to anyone else. Like, you get all those in one day and then you get nothing the next day.
Right.
It's not how that works.
Right.
Like there has to be a constant flow
Yeah.
and then a steady decline.
Right.
Not,
yeah,
hey, I'm here and
Boom.
then I'm there. Like,
Right.
you.
Right. So I get that on YouTube because of the way
obvious.
the YouTube algorithm and how all that works. I don't understand it on Instagram because that's not how Instagram works. It's not like the more views or the more likes or comments that your post has, it gets moved up in this rank system. It's whoever follows you is going to see you in the timeline. And if all of those likes and views and comments and if it's all bots, nobody actually watched your content. You know, even except for the few people that watch you on timeline. And you might get, oh wow, that got a bunch of views, but I don't see what that gets you on like Instagram and stuff.
And which this is the perfect time for you to just do this. Did I tell you about Instagram giving me free money?
What? No.
Yeah. So Instagram, I posted a picture of my new camera, this one I'm pointing at, with the new lens, which is on it right now, and I posted it just from my iPhone. And Instagram's like, man, you're doing really good with your like insights and connecting people, like liking and doing stuff. Here's free $30 for promotion. So,
holy moly!
So Instagram gave me $30 to spend for 6 days. And also works with Facebook, but nothing. Who uses Facebook?
Just to really like get sponsored or like a sponsored post or a promoted post.
Yeah, so they just would promote it. So I guess they're just give me $30 to try it out, which is not real $30, but
yeah,
still.
Yeah. So if you go look at any of my posts, the post of my camera versus everything else is just like ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it tells me even insight. So I'm gonna do a live of right now. I'm just gonna see what it's telling me. So right now, I got 9 likes in the last like 12 minutes. So my camera photo right now currently has 685 likes.
Yeah.
But it has 7 comments.
It's fake. You paid for those.
Yeah.
You paid for this fake.
Fake likes.
The
fake
comments
views.
are actually all real. All the comments are actually people that follow me and I shot videos for.
No, you're the king of England or anything like that?
Yeah. Like you're the only one in Italy.
Dude. That freaking ended me. I even made a tweet that said that nobody knows what it means with you guys, but
so that's why I brought it to kind of wrap back around. That's why I brought it up because we found an account that is paying for views, and all the comments are like have nothing to do with the video. Like, oh, you stole that girl's shirt, or
it said something that some of them are like vaguely sexual too, and it's like it's like you
or it's just emojis, and
someone was like, ooh, I love that. Yeah. Bubble butt. Yeah. And it's just like, what?
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with the video. What are you talking about?
You are the only one in Italy.
That's like oddly cryptic. You're the only one in Italy.
So here's the stats from this promotion. I've only spent $18 of the $30.
Did you use it to promote your camera picture? Is that?
Well, it's the only one they gave it for. Yeah, so I had to do it on that one.
Photo.
I wish it was on. I was like, we had a music video out.
I got you. Yeah.
But anyway, so for the first like 2 days, I've had 57 profile visits, and then it says I've had 55 promotion clicks. So 55 people have clicked on my promotion. 66 people visited my profile.
Okay.
It says that Discovery, it says 7,008 people reached them, so they saw it.
Yeah.
Had 8,564 impressions, 3 follows.
Oh.
I know, guys. And told me my demographic is 93% men, 7% women. Okay. And then age ranges 18 to 24, and then all up to 44. And then most of them are from Texas, California, and Georgia.
Yeah. So paying for promotion versus paying for views is completely different.
Correct, but they kind of give me the same exact results, except without the stupid comments. Like I'm getting one of my posts extremely popular,
right?
But it ain't. There's no plus to it. There's no making money back from it. Like I'm not.
Right.
Unless I was like selling clothes or. Right. Like that Dumb Good shirt, the Cowboy Bebop one.
Yeah.
I found that from a promotion on Instagram, but like I'm not selling stuff like that.
But you paid $30, and you get a real 600 something people, real accounts, 600 people actually saw it versus paying $30 for fake views, and it's just all
that's what I was
fake
thinking
bots.
too.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like you're promoting it for like better causes. I don't know how to like phrase that better, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I would have to really sit through that Instagram algorithm and try to figure like my demographic I wanted to pick. I just did it. I didn't like set like ages or anything like that because I mean the post didn't matter that much anyway. I didn't post the picture to get anything like that. I posted the picture so I could show everyone my new gear.
Yeah.
And they picked that one to do like advertisement for.
That's wild though. That's pretty cool.
And so, but that one I did a profile. You can do a website. And so if I get another one,
MochiPodcast.com.
That's what I'm going to do. Hopefully it's a podcast post.
Well, I converted the Mochi page into a business page.
Yeah.
And so,
which is how you get that.
Yeah. If you don't follow us on Instagram, we do every episode that we do, I cut together a little edit of just snippets of that episode and upload it on Instagram. And I've thought about, because one of your friends who was over here, the guy who was over here when it was Your and I episode alone, he had talked about how he had promoted one of his videos and it did really well. He only paid like $10 and it did super well. I was like, well, the money that we make back on the podcast, we could put into promoting one of the little snippets for a video and then put that out there. Because 600 impressions on that.
Do you just gotta make one person laugh? That's all you gotta do.
Right, yeah.
Like, oh, that sounds interesting. Swagtron. You know.
Swagtron.
Like.
So, yeah, that would be neat. I've been thinking about doing that.
We can do that. I mean, so like, for example, if Anchor pays us what they usually pay us for a podcast spot.
Mm-hmm. We'll just use that to pay.
That's 6 days, right?
To promote ourselves.
Yeah, that's like what Instagram pretty much.
Recycling the money somehow.
Yeah, for real. Put it back in. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be good too because, like, podcasts, and then we'd have it regulate to the website more than Instagram because our Instagram's not popular at all.
Yeah. Which still amazes me that the amount of effort that we put into Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube combined is still not even close to the listens that we get on iTunes and Spotify and all the podcasting services. It's wild. I figured once we launched videos that more people would watch the video.
People gravitate towards it. Yeah,
and it's not. It's really
people
weird,
like listen
man.
to podcasts now. Like people like listening to it.
I guess I'm just a visual person.
Yeah, kind of going back on that. I think me and Tim were talking earlier this week about like older episodes of the podcast that we really like, and he said. Emily actually checked out like all the episodes in like a day or something. And it was like so she was cracking up super hard,
yeah,
but
she didn't watch all of them. She watched
she listened to a lot of them. Yeah.
She listened or watched?
She listened.
She binged a bunch of our episodes. Some of the older ones. She binged a bunch of our episodes and liked a lot of them. But kind of going back, I think Tim said he loves the episode with, or he got to the episode with like Steven. I think the episode with Steven is really good. The one about the Eye of the Storm, or like that one. I guess what that one's called.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A hurricane or the tornado.
I don't go back and because I have to.
Yeah, you listen to them like a bunch of times, but
they're super good.
What's like your favorite episode? The one that didn't give you enough that much. It can't be one of the ones with Harry that you had to work like forever on.
Yeah, I would. I like the Whataburger, and I like the Robbed at Gunpoint. Those are really good early episodes.
What's the episode where you talk about you and Sarah go to the McDonald's drive-thru and they offered you a cold hash brown?
That's like one of the early ones. That's like the one with Phil, isn't it?
Yeah, can I get a hash brown? You want that hot or cold? What? Hot or cold? Yeah, give me a hash brown from yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you just like drove off. Whatever episode that is,
I don't remember.
That one sticks out to me. It's pretty funny.
That's got to be like our cars were vandalized or something like that. I think that's one of the early ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I was cracking up cracking up in the car listening to him.
Episode.
I listened to him all week.
If you want like a good episode of some of the early ones before we did video, check out episode number 5. What's Whataburger's $100,000 scheme? Whataburger's $100,000 scheme, and then I was robbed at gunpoint, which is episode number 7.
The Minetta one.
Yeah, surviving a tornado was the one with Steven. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
And then the one with Hunter Lawrence, whatever. That was right before we started doing video, which Hunter actually reached out to me not that long ago, and he was like, bro, I want to hang out with you guys again, so hopefully we can get Hunter back on the podcast.
That's our most listened to episode ever.
because Hunter is like
4 times.
Because Hunter is like awesome, and he's that boy, and we would love to have him on the podcast
again. Shout out to him. He had a birthday the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I wished him happy birthday.
I did
Nice.
too.
And then he commented back, like on Instagram, saying, "Hey man, let me be back on the podcast." So
Yeah, like, and the
So,
same thing with I feel like we were able to really like kind of like you talked about how you really wanted to shoot the shit with like just Dustin for the most part. We kind of talked like almost too serious for the whole time with Dustin, but I feel like this when we were talking with Hunter, we were like really kind of shooting the shit, and
well, we talked after because it was such a good episode, and I really wanted him to put his story out there because it's so unique.
Yeah.
That does not happen to people what he went through.
Yeah.
And so, no, we talked after about him being on and how great it was and how I wanted him to come on again and a less serious podcast, like an episode like this where it's just...
And
So Hunter, yes, you can come on the podcast next week.
we just gotta like, was next week fine?
Yeah, he won't hear this for like 2 weeks.
Either of us like reach out to him soon. So, I mean, like the first one, I guess, to reach out to him.
I'll text him.
We got a couple of people in the pipeline. We got Linda. We got Alex. My brother wants to come on.
I want him to come on too. I want you guys to
That's gonna be
talk.
such a fun. It's gonna be so fun to have him
Sleepyhead
on.
wants to come on, by the way.
Hell
too.
yeah!
So that's 4. Yeah.
We got like a bunch of stuff lined up, but I would love for you and your brother to be on the podcast because it's like you guys would just talk the whole
That's
time,
a good dynamic.
and it's just like I want to listen to what you guys have to say.
Tim makes Alex laugh like
Yeah,
really
you
hard.
guys got. I know you guys got stories in the chamber to
how.
for like a good episode.
Yeah,
so.
and they can check out the new studio setup now that we've all the audio listeners I really like this setup a lot more. We got rid of the big ass lights. Like we actually have an aisleway here. You can
this
walk
seems
through.
definitely roomier.
Yeah,
And it seems easier to set up
it's
too.
a lot easier on the eyes too.
And I'd mentioned this like so many times. It's like I miss before we went to video how the only thing that was lighting up the room was a lamp in the corner, and it was just like
It was nice. I have pictures of that too.
the super chill
podcast. Yeah.
Probably didn't pick up on the
But
mic.
you can
but
hear a definite difference in audio too with like the first like 3 episodes as well. But no, I really like this setup. It's
and I'm glad that you proposed
more
that
chill.
because
Did
the
we get
way. Go ahead.
Did we get a kickback? Because you put all the sponsors too on all the old episodes.
a kickback.
Yeah, did we get kickback for those too? Because we didn't have sponsors before that. I
Yeah,
noticed that. I didn't know you could do that.
Who we distribute through, you can choose where ads go.
Oh,
And so
awesome.
I just threw them on the old ones.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's awesome. I
If you
noticed that
listen
too.
to us on like SoundCloud and stuff, maybe not. That won't be there. But because that's just like an extra step we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
iTunes and Spotify's all bundled into one.
Shout out Robin.
Oh
for
yeah,
real.
shout out. You rule. Probably won't hear this for a little while anyways, but you rule.
Yeah, for real.
Anything-
But no, we should. I'm down for having people on. You know,
Of course. And like you said, it's been nice to kind of mix it up every now and again where it's like it's us 3 or it's just 2 of us going at it. That shows that we can like I mean clearly one of us just can't talk for a long time by ourselves.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Well, Hayden and I were talking about podcasts yesterday, different podcasts that we
Yeah.
listen to, and one of the guys he talked about it's one dude who. Well, you tell.
Dan Carlin, who does like hardcore history, whatever. I'm sure there's plenty of people who listen to this have seen it, and it's just like when it comes to like in school, a lot of subjects just bored the absolute hell out of me, unless it was history because history was interesting to me. Like stuff happens in history, like a lot of crazy stuff happens that just like change the face of the planet, whatever. And he really delivers it in a way that's like I'm in the classroom, like being taught this stuff in just like a super intense, well, like written in depth way that just like grips me, and it's just like it feels very like the way he describes things is like very animated, the way he talks, whatever, and it's just like he gets really intense. He can also be really the voice can go very very soft, and the way he kind of like quotes people, it's just like, and I've talked about one of the episodes that he talks about, or a series he's done called Blueprint for Armageddon, and just about how like his every single episode he does is just like a behemoth in its own, because each episode is like hours and hours long. They're at least like 3 to 4 hours long. And he did Blueprint for Armageddon, and that's like 6 parts, but that's like a full like 24 hours of just like a podcast where he talks about like Blueprint for Armageddon is basically about how he thinks of one single event to have completely just changed the face of the world, like forever, just like since like the history has been ever been recorded. What he can think of, if he had to pinpoint it, the specific point where he thinks it changed the world completely for, until like time goes on forever, was when the assassination of Franz Ferdinand that caused World War One, and then that went on to cause World War Two, and then all these political problems and like changes, like how like specific countries viewed each other with alliances and like rivalries and that kind of thing, and that specific action just completely changed it. And he starts out from that one point and then goes like just kind of like snowballs into just like this huge grand, just how it really, really, truly affected the world.
Yeah.
And that's, I think about that, and I'm like, if I had that like and a lot of my history teachers in high school were very about that. They were very passionate about history, and that just really caters to me.
Yeah,
I'm
with you.
I'm not like that big of a history like nerd, but just hearing about like cool stuff happening. There, he has an episode kind of about, we talked about 300 a little bit. He does have an episode about like the Spartans, and I'm like, he goes like into like real historical events, and I'm like, that's a real thing that happened. That's super freaking cool.
Yeah.
Because like in history, it's a lot of the times it's like not glamorous. It's really, really gory, or it's really, really like it's really, really blunt sometimes. Like it's not like, history is not like such a poet when it comes to it, but yeah, I like that one a lot. And talk to you. I brought it up like 10 times a day about Last Podcast on the Left.
Yes,
which Hunter also talked about. That's like his favorite. I keep referencing them.
Yeah.
Them. I don't know what I'm saying.
Referencing thing.
Ding ding. I'm the one who's flipping on this episode. I referenced them like 100 times a day, and I really want Zach to listen to them. I recommended him like a few series they do, but that's like a true crime comedy podcast that I love a lot.
Which I wanted to talk to Tim about too, kind of rounding out this episode. We were talking about podcasts and the different podcasts that we listen to, and probably podcasts that you listen to as well. That our show is our podcast is just us kind of talking about our day to day, what happened this week. There's no real like underlying like theme to any particular episode,
which is why people like us though.
Right,
we're freeform.
Oh, I'm so for it. But I also like my creative. I got this creative itch where I want to like make something more.
Yeah,
like I want to do another show as well that has like a theme to it. Me and Alex had talked. He wants to do like a little podcast thing, but pitch it to you guys too. Like, what if we did? Not saying right now, but what if we did another show that was every episode, there was like a theme to that show. So a viewer would kind of know what to expect from episode to episode. Like we joked about it when we first did the Mochi podcast. We had just watched Napoleon Dynamite. God. And I'm like, Hayden,
still a great movie.
We need to do a Napoleon Dynamite podcast.
Oh,
but every week we just talk about like if you look at it in the sense of like a DVD has different chapters.
It does.
Each episode we break down like that chapter,
the components and everything.
Right. So we sit down and we watch that.
So it's a movie podcast, pretty much.
Sure. Yeah.
Where we spoil the movie for
which
you.
is good, but that's a movie everybody's seen or should have seen.
But not that necessarily. Just like in a sense, like that would be the theme, and then every episode people would know.
Yeah.
At the beginning, we're gonna have.
Which that's how a lot
this episode we spoil.
Yeah.
This movie.
And that's how a lot of podcasts are, because they want to have a theme, they want to have a category to cater to that specific niche audience, And people, when they look up podcasts, a lot of time they have their interests.
Right.
They want to look up something that's going to be like catering to that specific interest. Like I told you, I'm into history, so I listen to a history podcast. I do like true crime and like comedy, so I listen to that. Right. I like anime. I have an anime podcast too, and like
of course this anime
podcast.
Reviews.
So how would you categorize what we do? Because I've found that kind of hard distributing our episodes, because if you just say, "Oh, we're entertainment," is such a broad word category to be thrown in.
It could be all entertainment.
Well, we're into comedy.
Everything.
Well, everything's comedy, you know. So it's kind of been hard to put our podcast under a label for people to just really, it's word of mouth. People who listen to us is the viewers who share it with their friends. But as far as like on charts and stuff, we're kind of and there's nothing wrong with that. I love the format of this show, but just creatively, I'd also like to do something else that has more of a narrative to it.
That would be I totally support you in that. That was really, really, I just don't know what we could do. And also, man, me and Zach today, we got Cajun Grill, and I was like, man, you want to go eat this out in your van? But we couldn't. He didn't have his table in his van. And I was like, I wish we had like was able to like record like part of a video for like us just eating in the van, talking
like a
and hanging
mukbang
out
or something.
Yeah.
That would have been sick.
And also like I don't know, like Let's Plays in a way are also like a form of podcast. People use those as podcasts too.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it pretty much is if you listen to just audio. I mean, I don't even watch them Game Grunts play games ever. Just listen to them talk. Sometimes,
unless it's a game I'm specifically interested in, like whenever I watched Oni and then play Shinmue and like Dark Souls, or whenever I watched certain games that like Game Grumps play, I want to see them play the game because it's a game I enjoy and I've played. But if it's a game I'm not really sure about, I'll just listen to them like joke about stuff. So
yeah,
you know.
It's really hard because we do hit like every single aspect of like we talk about gaming, anime, we talk about videos, we talk about movies, we talk about friends and everyday life. I mean, like, but that's the good part is like we have all these episodes, and where instead of someone being like, no, I don't like this podcast because they only talk about one thing, they be like, oh, this episode they talk about something I'm interested in,
right?
And so, which is to me better than doing that. Like, oh, I get it every single week. I get to learn something new about these three idiots, and it's great. And I can come to the next episode and I can understand what they're talking about because I know their character.
Right.
Where if we're talking about, for example, true crime is just stupid popular.
Yeah.
Most of them it's boring. I mean, it's literally like, hey, let's reopen this case and here's 12 episodes of me calling people and.
Well, it's all acquired. It's the listener's preference.
Yeah,
it is.
but
there's
like,
an audience for everything.
But one person heard that and they're like, you know what? I want to make a true crimes. And then there's a million of them. Where there's not a million podcasts where people are just hanging out with their best friends and then talk about stuff.
That's not dedicated to anything.
Yeah, that's not dedicated to anything.
It has its pros and cons, and I definitely see where Zach is coming from with this because he wants to do something that's specifically themed or a little bit more structured.
Yeah.
I totally see where you're coming from with that, but like I said, it has its pros and cons, and I do enjoy this, but I would love to see what you would want to do with a specific theme or a direction you want to go with another podcast.
If you want to do a movie podcast, I'll do a movie podcast because
that'd have to be you guys. I'm not that big into movies,
but it would only be. See, I don't know. We'll talk about this behind the scenes
because we can have a Kill Bill one. We could do a Tarantino,
right? But there's so many like different.
Exactly.
Everybody has an opinion, and it's going to tear you apart if you don't rate their movie or whatever.
Right.
I was just using that as an example. It doesn't have to be.
I totally feel that because totally feel how you feel because one of my favorite movies of all time is There Will Be Blood, but a lot of people give that movie flack because it just has that one funny line in the movie where it's like, "I drink your milkshake," and I'm like, that's probably the iconic line, but that movie altogether is in my opinion, a masterpiece. But yeah. And I get a lot of flack. People that movie's all right, but it has that one funny line. I'm like, you didn't get the point of the movie.
Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. Something I've been thinking about and pitched it. So.
And
you'll have plenty of time to think about it. So
still don't have like an idea of what like theme you want to go with, but like
right, I don't. I just have
good.
Like a general like
just
I know
brainstorm
I want more structure in something. So
it'd be awesome to see
because this podcast is doing great every week. We get people. It like I said, it's all word of mouth because there's not really other than like dumping the ad money back into like promoting our stuff on Instagram to try and grow our audience and stuff like Reddit, hoping you get lucky and get thrown on the front page or something.
Yeah.
So just to all our listeners, thank you for sharing it with your friends. Thank you for the continued support of our show and listening every week and sharing it with everybody if you think it's cool or if you have friends who would also think this is cool, let them know. I think that's going to do it this week for this episode of the Mochi Mochi Podcast, episode 25? 6? So thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Mochi Mochi Podcast. I've been your host, Zach, with my host, Tim, and his host, Hayden. If you don't know, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and everything else on mochipodcast.com. We do YouTube videos as well. Those are on mochipodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Mochi Podcast.
Thank you again, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast.
Yes.
And
we love Tim. We love sickly old Tim Bob.
We love Tim. We love Tim.
Hot damn. We love